If you're already looking outward in comparison, flip it and look outward if you're already doing it and see it in inspiration versus jealousy in any way whatsoever. Because a lot of people are looking out and it's shining a light on their own insecurities through comparison. And instead, so if you're already doing it, I'm teaching you how to flip that process. If you're going to look outside of you, do it because it's motivating to you to say, I want that. She's got that. I want that too.
Amazing. Hi, Laura. So nice to see you. So happy to have you on the show today.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to give you a quick intro. For those of you who don't know Laura, she's been featured on Selling Sunset. She has been on Access Hollywood. She is really known as a mindset coach for the stars, influencers, and big business owners. So I'm super pumped to have you on the show today. I am positive that our listeners will be super excited. I cannot wait for you to share with us how to get unstuck, which I know is your specialty, and help us achieve the goals that we really want to in life and just like really manifest what we're looking for in business. So, Laura, I'm going to throw it to you so you can give us some tips and tricks.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. If you're here listening, you probably have something that you really want to manifest, and it may be a big goal or dream. I believe that there's nothing that can limit what's in your heart. And when you really learn to tap into that potential and you learn to stop overthinking it and really take, your brain a bit out of the equation, sometimes you can expand yourself and get there faster. I'm literally known for the practical how-tos on how to manifest faster. So, it's really a process. And I love the step-by-step approach. I can feel it really deeply. I know when people are coming from self-doubt and fear, and I know how to teach you how to squish it, as quickly as possible in a loving way.
Awesome. And so what is as quick as possible? What does that mean? Like, how fast is fast?
I mean, fast is extremely fast. Within a day, sometimes the turnaround, it's insane. And I mean, I started a private group yesterday and a woman messaged me last night. She was like, with an extraordinary thing that happened. She's like, brace yourself. Are you sitting? She emailed me and I'm just like, what? She's like, I wrote this down this morning. Like, I'm going to send you a screenshot of what just happened. And it's ironic because even when I kicked that group off yesterday, I was like, listen, imagine yourself messaging me like, you won't believe this, Laura St. John. You just used your very first tool today and this already unfolded. Like, to take yourself there, because the fastest way is not to actually manifest from all the baggage that you're probably stewing in right now. Like, when people try to manifest, they're trying to close the gap between where you are right now and where you wish to be. But you're doing it from the energy, the thoughts, the emotional, gunk of where you're sitting right now. So it's often like laced with all this self-doubt and lack and like neediness that is unnecessary, that slows it down. It actually creates resistance. So I teach you the tools to literally jump into the future version of you that, your heart knows exactly, like, that lives inside you right now. Your heart doesn't know linear time, but your brain needs to be tricked that that version of you is like a future version, because your brain otherwise will be like, not possible. So I really teach you again how to like jump into this. The fastest fast track that I could say in like the quickest way possible is training yourself to go to the future version of you that feels little to no resistance to what you want to manifest, like no pang of pain and lack and whatever of it. And then how to bring that version of you into today. So you are acting, it's beyond law of assumption. It's beyond law of attraction. In my perspective, what I've developed, the tools, those things are real too, but like just exceed it in a way that it's, you surprise yourself. Let's just.
Well, yeah, well, clearly in that example you just told us about that woman who like literally manifested in like what, 24 hours or less than?
Less than. It was morning to night. And, it was something that she was I do these 6-week private groups. I also have my online digital courses, but like, in these groups they're like working with me, getting my energy. And, that morning she set the intention of something that you would even want to just be on the pathway to. And I'm like, listen, if you have this dream in your heart, the pathway to it already exists. Can I help you elevate yourself through your thoughts, through your harnessing of emotional power, through your ability to take action from a place of trust versus doubt? And can you see that path quicker? And the answer is always yes. The path's there. Most people get caught up trying to make the path happen. See the path, seek the evidence before it's in front of you. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, you have to, do all these things before the evidence is there. And that's the challenge for most humans is like, how do I do that, Laura, when I'm not seeing it? How do I do this when, how do I manifest one money if I open my bank account and I see, what I don't want? How do I create this amazing relationship when the person's treating me like crap? How do I do all this in the face of struggle? And I felt like I knew that I was feeling in need of that when I was working with people to get to the extraordinary levels in their life, no matter whether I work with kids 9 and 10 years old or celebrities or anyone in between. I'm like, I see everybody the same. And, I'm like, everyone, the best thing about manifesting is everyone can friggin' do this. It's in your heart. If you are breathing, you have a brain, you have a heart, you can, become happier. Right now, you're just blocked. Like I teach you how to unstuck and unblock these blocks to know that all this potential's inside you right now. You just have to learn how to access these answers that are inside you. It's a beautiful process for me because I'm a teacher at heart. I grew a technology company to hundreds of locations for kids before becoming a mindset coach, before then specializing manifesting. So I've always just been helping, even the youngest minds of the world untap into their potential. And kids are really close to the truth of who they are.
Yeah, they have way less baggage than we do.
Yeah.
That clean slate. Clean slate.
We have a lot more reference points where your brain is like, ding, 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 problem, alert, can't do that. Let me block you here. And again, when I teach you how to just remove, it's more about removing the blocks so you see these pathways than it is, again, about like creating. It's more about accessing and allowing in.
Got it. And I feel like as humans, we naturally do this, right? We don't necessarily, it's not like, oh, I manifested this, but by like taking action and being in the moment and like actually feeling and being passionate, I feel like you're doing that. Like you get to a certain point, you're like, oh, I actually like caused this to happen. But it's just so subconscious. And I feel like you're able to like draw that out of us. And so obviously I don't want to give away your like teaching for free, but tell
back
us
on these podcasts. I literally there's so much content for me to share to help people on these roadmaps. I think it's another thing is like I don't hold back on like my TikTok lives, my any of my events, because I know when people really go through my curriculum, they're getting it at such a deeper level that they're committing to it that honestly, I share so much free content with the world because I know I'm not just here for celebrities and, musicians and pro athletes. I'm here for everybody. I'm literally here for everybody. And it's why I do a lot of free content or my $20 content. It's like my intention is to reach as many people as possible with this knowledge.
I love that. I love that. And this podcast is all about women and helping women achieve their goals and, specifically in business. So talk to us. You've worked with so many people. You've run a business before. You know what it's like. I feel like one of the things that I want to expose is that we always see the end results. We see, oh my God, like even right now, we're like, oh my God, Laura St. John, she was on the Netflix Selling Sunset. She's like, we see that. We don't see the like struggle you went through to get to where you got to, all the ups and downs. And so coming from that place and understanding what we go through, A, as women, B, in business, because we know how it's like, that's another story for another day. But what's some advice you can give to female leaders out there who are going to be stuck because they feel a certain way, sitting at the table with men or, just feeling underappreciated? How can you help get them unstuck so they can move forward?
Great. I love this question. First of all, if you're a woman and you're in business, like you're already badass. Like that's amazing. Like you are literally here on the planet at the most important time, honestly, in my opinion, to be a woman taking charge, carving your own path. The moment you start looking at me or anyone else, being like, oh my God, she's there or did all that, or look, she's in Malibu or da 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 da. If you're already looking outward in comparison, flip it and look outward if you're already doing it, and see it in inspiration versus jealousy in any way whatsoever. Because a lot of people are looking out and it's shining a light on their own insecurities through comparison. And instead, so if you're already doing it, I'm teaching you how to flip that process. If you're going to look outside of you, do it because it's motivating to you to say, I want that. She's got that. I want that too. Well, clearly she's even carved a path already. I surround myself with a lot of powerful people because we all learn from each other. So instead of being like, oh my goodness, look at this woman and she's done that and I'm not all that, like find it in you to see it as a mirror so it reflects the strength back in you. Because I promise you, there is nothing inside me or her or him or anyone that's not inside you too. You have every ability in your brain and in your heart to expand into more. So if you're feeling a little pang of jealousy or you're feeling that it's actually uncovering what you truly desire, and you have to take the conscious choice to use it to fuel you, but not out of lack. Do not take action to be like, now I'm going to jump into it and compare. So anyway, that's just an important point. It also runs back into manifesting because most people manifest saying like, I'm not all that. I don't have this. I'm looking up at my vision board. I don't know how I'm going to get to this house in Malibu, on this salary or, with these circumstances. And you keep moving from a place of lack. And that's going to drive more comparison, drive more insecurity. You're going to keep taking action from this lacky, needy place, which is fear. And you need to do my flip it method where you literally know, and I boil things down all kinds of scientifically. Newton's law, which is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Every time you feel a negative or you see a negative inside yourself, know that there's an equal and opposite positive for you to tap into. And you got to take action instead of from doubt, from trust, instead of from lack, from abundance, instead of from fear, from love of yourself. And the more and more you work on that internally, and again, use the people outside of you as like, wow, if they could do it, I can do it too. Just like own gyms, and I would, see someone coming in with, some kind of thing and they're in a wheelchair or whatever, like, but they're still working their upper body. I'm like, that's inspiring. Here's someone who could be, using all kinds of circumstances to say, I can't, I can't, I can't. But you can flip it to be like, I can, I can, I can. So what can I do right now? Starting from an amazing place. And that's really also how you manifest. So, yeah, right? Like it's power. We can create. We are put here. We can create. If I'm like, I have 3 boys, 18, 16, and 12. I'm 46 years old. And I'm like, I feel better than when I was in my 30s. And I was always like, I'm going to subscribe to the thought that we can create anything. If I can create another human being with working lungs and things that like, I have no idea how, the little tiny trillions of their cells of their bodies are working.
Yes.
I helped create that. Then I can recreate my body. I can recreate my business. I can reinvent myself constantly. We have that power to jump into that at any time.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Oh my God, that's such a great perspective. Like I've never thought of it that way from that lens. Obviously, I don't have children. So I have no idea, but like makes sense. You're like, of course we are powerful. Like we can do so much with this body and this mind.
We are here to create. And, anyone, women in business, whether you are working in a business that wasn't your idea, but but you're bringing your strength to it. You're bringing your intuition. You're bringing your imagination. You're bringing all the things that are like these inner powers to it. Like use it. You are here to self-express yourself and your gifts, whether, mind speaking and taking all this very complex, science and metaphysics and spiritual stuff and boiling it down into very simple, practical how-tos that can be applied anywhere. But, you got to know what you're kind of not good at and what you don't want to do. I call it like the bad boyfriend rule. You got to know what businesses and stuff like you really didn't like, like I don't love all the details, the operations, like we were supposed to podcast 30 minutes from now, like I'm on the wrong time half the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not the details person. I am the big picture thinker, but you got to know what your strengths are and just own it, and then sometimes it's knowing what your strengths aren't and don't even worry about those. Just like, don't even worry about those. Just find what you love.
Yep. I agree. I agree. And that's the thing. I do the same thing. I'm like, okay, that's not my thing. I'm not going to deal with it. I will like hire the best person that I can hire to do that because that's what that's what they're good at. Right. And it's just like, I just talked to someone. I'm like, it's the people behind the people. We all have people around us that can help us. And like you said, like, you surround yourself with other powerful people and we help each other get to where we're going. So I absolutely agree with that. Um, I think I saw your Access Hollywood interview interview, and you were saying that you worked with Vanessa and you guys manifested her getting on Selling Sunset, and you're like, well, damn, I'm gonna do it for myself too. I'm gonna manifest myself being on the show too. So talk us through, like, okay, that's very tangible. How did you like in your the way you do it, how did you manifest that for yourself?
So basically, a couple of things. This will be so great, juicy steps that anyone can tap into with anything they want. Okay. So first, I really sat back and, at first I did it, for my friend. I helped her when I first met her, I was like, what do you want to manifest? She was like the love of my life and breaking into the American acting scene. It was our very first beach walk of Vanessa and I when I was like, what do you want to manifest here? And, within weeks, she was auditioning in my house for Netflix, and then also meeting the man of her dreams, who was from the UK, who just got married to, I was her maid of honor. I mean, we literally manifested all of these things, and you just don't know how it's going to come together. But so what I did, just to kind of speed things up, and I could always backtrack on that, is that I sat with my intent, which is to reach millions of people. And I'm always open to different channels and partnerships and ways that like my messages can creatively reach the audience that I am ready to meet and, help. And so to me, it was less about me getting on the show and more about reverse manifesting, I call it, where I see the sea of people who are like so excited and happy to learn my how-to tips and tools because they've just never heard manifesting the way I put it. Is like always what I hear. Like, I've been doing manifesting, but I just never heard it this way. I was like, because I never subscribed to any other way. Like, these are the things that just always came to me very naturally, and that I help thousands and thousands of people do. So I just sat there and I was like, well, number one, let me sit with my true intent, which is my energy behind if I'm going to be on this show or not. Because her on the show. Heck, why not? Right? Am I supposed to be on the show? I would have never imagined that I would like choose reality TV as my way. I don't know. I just didn't know. But my intent was I want to see the audience, and I could close my eyes and see the audience being like, I needed to hear her message exactly with the strength and power that she delivered it with that confidence. Like, I want that too. Because I told Christine Quinn, stop giving your keys of your power away to your past. Like, you keep manifesting these do-overs in your life, which everyone can relate to, right? So I watched the show because I hadn't even watched the show, so I watched all 3 seasons before Vanessa was on season 4. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be on season 4, who would I want to work with? Because Vanessa's like, maybe come on, be my friend, coffee shop, whatever. And I'm like, no. If I'm going to manifest getting into the show, I want it specifically exactly what I want to do for the world, which is not just me getting on a show. It would be me reaching the audience. So I imagine that I watched the show. I was like, Christine, I was like, I could see she was a powerful manifestor. I'm like, she throws these incredible parties with like zebras or animals and like these things, her wedding. Like, I was just like, she is an incredible manifestor. She envisions things before they happen. But I could also see where she was envisioning things or getting herself wrapped into struggle, like with the friendships and the turmoil in the office that was real and happening in her face. And I knew I could help her. And I knew that if I could help her, I could help the audience that I wanted to reach that were also recreating the problems from their past baggage. And that's a powerful message. Even in that scene, I had, anyway, the point is back to me manifesting so I could help you with the steps is go to your major broad intent in your business. How do you want to serve the world? How do you want to help people? Who is your audience that is already out there that wants you back? So whatever it is that you wants you back. And, that audience, I'm like, there's an audience that wants me back, my messages. And this is just the mechanism where I can be sharing my energy so they receive it. That was huge. So I think from a business perspective, you all got to really sit back and be like, is that intent so crystal clear for me in my business? Is it brought into my boardroom? Is it brought into an email? Is it brought into everything that I do for a business? That can be felt in my content. My intent is to help any single person who's reaching me or hearing me right now. It's not about me, about you. So that's huge. And then the second piece is I actually, in my notes in my phone,
Yeah.
I pretended scripted Vanessa. Like once I felt that energy, then I took action and I did some of my tools. I did my flip it method. I did my little congrats card tool. I have all these little tools you can see on my content. But ultimately, then I also like opened up my little message on my phone and I scripted a little note from Vanessa and then me back to her being like, guess what, Laura? The producer's about to call you, blah, 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 be ready, da, 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 da. And then I was like, OMG, Vanessa, had an amazing call. Like they auditioned me. Like I'm jumping on this like set this week or whatever. That exactly then pretty much happened in that way. Like, within
Oh my
days,
God.
Vanessa was like, OMG, like they do want to bring you on toward the end of the season, and within a week, I was out in the location and filming, like, boom, like I auditioned on Zoom, and it's just like bada bing. So take action though from the intent. But then third step, friggin' let it go. I let it go. Like if it's meant to be, it has no connection to my self-value, how priceless my content is, who I am and what I'm meant to be for this planet. Like I let it go being like, okay, then I wrote so get into the intent, step one, take action from that intent. So it's like out there, you've like put some positive spin out there with action and then completely let go of the outcome because I was like, if it's and then I say this special phrase, so I'll also leave the audience which is I want that or better. I want to be on that show or even better. Like if I don't get on that show, even though it's a huge show, something better is right behind it coming to me. So I release it wholeheartedly. And my business practice is if it's good for me, good for you, and good for the greater good of humanity, let it manifest super duper fast. And if it's not, let it go.
Yes. Oh my God, Laura, I love that. I can listen to you talk forever, but I know we're on a time constraint because you're so busy. We'll have to have you on again.
I would love that. And yeah, I mean, I'll give your audience a special code to my content, whatever it is. So I'll post whatever link to you because I would love anyone who's resonating, don't think twice. I'm always like, listen, if my heart is matching a magnet to your heart that wants to open up to more self-trust, less self-doubt, more love, less fear, and weave that into your business because that's what exponentially grows things. I mean, I'm working, with this team at Google now. Same thing. They found me and it's like these top women in tech and business that are so powerful. I mean, I work with the whole team and women, but the women in this company too that I work with, I'm like, again, that's what I'm saying. Like there are people in all different places that are carving different paths in empowering. Like, and you gotta again keep looking at them as empowering versus I'm not enough. Don't use it to, feature why you're not good enough or any feeling of not enoughness. You are more than enough. I promise you, you have everything inside you to do this and create that next chapter from a completely new perspective.
Laura, amazing. Thank you so much for the inspiration today. I'm super excited. We will post. So give us the website that our listeners can go to.
So it's strongconfidentliving.com. And then I will do a love Sam, just LOVE Sam, like code for your audience.
Okay.
And then, I'll give you a link that you could post with this.
Amazing. So we'll put that in our show notes. Everyone can find that when Laura sends it over. We'll have it. Laura, thank you so much for your time today. Love you. I'm just like so enamored with you. So super excited. Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
You too. Take care. Bye.